This used to be me. I was depressed, anxious, skinny fat, lonely. I'd lost my love for life. I was spending my days hidden away in my room, eating junk food. I hated the way I looked. I hated the way I felt. And basically, I hated who I was becoming. So, how then did I take this kid and become the confident, ambitious, aesthetic man that I am today? Well, I made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes over my 10 years of training, but I've been able to compile 3 steps that I think anybody could take to go from skinny fat to aesthetic in a much shorter amount of time than it took me. The first thing you got to do is realize I hate who I'm becoming and nobody's going to change this except for me. If you don't realize it yourself, nobody's going to be able to help you. No trainer, no YouTube video, no family member, no friend is going to be able to change you if you don't do it yourself. You've got to make it up in your mind that you are better than this and you deserve better than this. You've got to admit that you are deeply unhappy. I was deeply unhappy. I hated the person I was becoming and I hated the person I was. I wanted to be different, and actually I realized I needed to be different. I could not keep living this way. And that's exactly what you have to do if you want to get better. Step 2 is to actually lose the weight. There's a few ways to approach this, but the first thing that I did was to implement a calorie deficit. A calorie deficit just means that you're burning more calories than you're eating. What I would do from the start is I would either work out and eat the exact same amount, or I would have a day off of working out and I would eat less. I was doing a lot of cardio back in those days. Every once in a while, I'd lift some weights in my garage, but I was really just trying to burn that weight off. And it worked. I was able to lose over 30 pounds in under 3 months, and for the first time ever, I had visible abs. I still wasn't satisfied with my physique though, and after I stopped implementing the calorie deficit, I was basically stuck at this physique for a long period of time. Even though I continued training, I was eating enough calories to where I wasn't losing any weight. What was able to get the last bit of weight off of me was implementing fasting and intermittent fasting. Fasting puts you in a state of ketosis, which basically just means you're burning a lot of fat instead of the carbs that you'd normally be burning. All of this led up to a 7-day fast that I did in which I had nothing but water for a whole week. After that fast, I was the skinniest that I'd ever been. If you want my help to lose weight, click that link below and I can guarantee you will lose 25 pounds in just 75 days, or I'll give you your money back and I'll even pay you. I'm so confident in the systems that I use to help my clients that I can actually guarantee you this. If you don't lose weight working with me, you'll get a complete refund and I'll even pay you $100. Having become the skinniest that I'd ever been, I was still unsatisfied with how I looked, but I knew I was much better off than I was before. The final step that I had to take was quite simple. Put on some muscle. There are 2 things that we can do to ensure we're going to put on some muscle. The first is to make sure we're eating enough protein. Our muscles are made of protein, so if we're not eating enough of it, we're not going to have the proper building materials to make new muscle and grow that muscle. The second thing we do is implement something called progressive overload. This just means we're progressively adding more load to our workouts. We can quantify this in weight, sets, or reps. If your last workout you did 10 sets of push-ups, the next workout you might do 11 or 12. If you did sets of 5 push-ups, you're going to want to increase that to sets of 6. If you're lifting weights doing something like overhead press, what we're going to want to do is add some more weight every single week. Slowly increasing your work capacity is going to naturally result in your muscles growing because they need to accommodate for even more load. They have to get stronger and they have to get bigger. And that's exactly what I did to go from skinny fat to aesthetic. I made the decision that I'm going to change and no one's going to do it for me. I lost the weight using a calorie deficit and fasting, and then I made sure I had enough fuel and I was pushing myself hard enough to grow new, bigger muscles. I will admit this whole thing took me years and many, many mistakes to figure out. It's possible to do all of this on your own, but it'll be much easier to achieve your dream physique if you've got someone to mentor and guide you through the whole process. This is why I offer my own one-on-one training services. I've gone through the hardships, I know what's got to be done, and I can get you to your dream physique faster than you'd believe. To work one-on-one with me, click that link below. I look forward to speaking with you, and I'll see you in the next one.